The real estate sector is considered one of the largest sources of wealth in the world. Those who control real estate control, in a sense, the world, as the property market has undeniable power over the global economy. The wealth generated by this sector is not only financial, but also strategic, as those who own valuable real estate, whether residential or commercial, have influence over the fate of cities, regions, and even countries. Many people around the world invest in the stock market, believing it is the only way to accumulate wealth. However, I personally do not invest in stocks, nor do I use my own money to make those investments. Instead, the real estate sector is where I focus my attention and resources. I'm not saying that you must necessarily invest in real estate, but if you understand the nature and workings of the real estate market, you will realize how valuable it is. Real estate is not just about buying and selling properties. It is about understanding the dynamics of the market, identifying opportunities, and knowing when to act. I started my journey in real estate by visiting brokers and going through property listings. At the time, access to property information was much more limited, and the ways to find opportunities were outdated and ineffective. Still, for someone like me, with limited financial resources at the beginning, these opportunities were valuable, though they required a lot of effort and patience. I was looking for cheap properties, which made sense given that I didn't have much capital to invest. I remember knocking on doors, visiting brokers who, as is common in the industry, were more concerned with the commission they would receive than in actually helping clients find the right property. Even so, I continued my search with determination, always looking for something that would fit my budget. On my first attempt, I came across a broker who said, "You can't do this here. You might try elsewhere like Mars, California, or Nebraska, but not here." These words could have discouraged me, but, on the contrary, they only made me more determined to continue. I was in a desperate situation, not knowing how I could move forward, when a broker finally offered me a unique opportunity. He said there was something interesting in Maui. Now, many believe that Maui is a luxury destination, inaccessible to most people due to the high prices. So I wondered, how could I, with limited resources, buy something there? But as most experienced investors know, when the market is down, opportunities arise for those who are prepared. I knew this was my chance. It wasn't the first time I had heard the wisdom of buying when the market is down, and this seemed like the perfect opportunity to apply that concept. So I went to Maui, and there I found a small property in Kaanapali, one of the wealthiest and most sought-after areas on the island. The property was a small one-bedroom, one-bathroom condominium, priced at only $18,000. This was almost unbelievable, considering the property was located on one of Maui's most famous and desirable beaches. The reason for the low price was that the local real estate market had suffered a significant decline. But for me, this situation was a unique opportunity, as I knew that smart investors always wait for these downturns to make their acquisitions. While many people would look at this opportunity and think it was impossible to buy something like that due to the lack of money, I knew that wasn't the case. The mindset of, "I can't do this because I don't have the money," is the mindset of losers. You need to understand that, in times of crisis, those who have a long-term vision and know where to find opportunities can make great acquisitions. This was during the period when the dollar had just come off the gold standard, and the world economy was changing rapidly. It was a time of instability, but also of possibilities. I had to learn the right way to buy properties, even without having immediate cash. The ability to identify opportunities in real estate is not limited to having large sums of money in your pocket, but involves being able to analyze the market, identify trends, and know how to finance these acquisitions. I didn't use my own money to invest. Instead, I relied on financing and smart negotiations, taking advantage of the liquidity that banks and investors had available at the time. The lesson I learned at that moment was simple but crucial. The real estate market, with all its complexity, offers immense opportunities for those willing to learn and adapt. It's not just about buying and selling properties, but understanding the cycles of the market, the economic fluctuations, and most importantly, how to use the knowledge acquired to make transactions that benefit not only the present, but also the future. Now, with the experience I've gained over the years, I know that the real estate sector is not for everyone, but it is a field with great opportunities for those who have patience, vision, and a willingness to learn. Controlling real estate is not just about owning properties. It's about having economic power, influence, and, in many cases, the ability to shape the landscape of a city or region. And when you understand this, you can use real estate as one of the most powerful tools to build wealth and secure your financial freedom. However, it is important to remember that the real estate market is not a short-term bet. Like any other sector, it requires a deep understanding of trends and a solid strategy. It's not about finding the cheapest property and buying it without planning. It's about knowing when to act, how to negotiate, and most importantly, how to look beyond the immediate value. It's a market that rewards those who have a long-term vision and know how to act at the right moment. Therefore, when considering the real estate market as a potential source of wealth, you need to understand that it goes beyond buying and selling transactions. It involves a series of skills, from understanding economic conditions to the ability to identify an opportunity even when the market is down. And more importantly, it is a sector that rewards strategic vision and patience. If you are able to understand and leverage these dynamics, you can use real estate as a powerful tool for building wealth and long-term financial stability. What I've learned throughout my business journey, and what most people don't understand, is that the mindset of poor people, like my own father, is what keeps them trapped in poverty. Most people who struggle financially always have an excuse. I can't afford this. I don't have time. I have kids. I have a job. I have bills to pay. These are excuses that, although they seem legitimate, are exactly what prevent these people from moving forward financially. If you continue with this type of mindset, you will never escape poverty. You will always be the person who can't thrive. Therefore, changing this way of thinking is crucial to your journey to wealth. When I started, I was practically on the brink of bankruptcy. I was broke and completely in debt. But the secret I learned is that a lack of money is not the problem. The problem is how you think about money. If you are always focused on the fact that I can't afford it, you will never learn to use money intelligently. In my case, despite being nearly bankrupt, money was available to me, but not in the way I imagined. The trick was learning to use debt to my advantage, and that's exactly what I did. I understood that, contrary to what many people think, debt can be good, as long as you know how to use it to generate more money. That's when I began to see things in a completely different way. What many people don't realize is that the financial system is designed to function with the use of debt. Banks, for example, offer credit all the time, and if you know how to use this to your advantage, you can get rich without needing a large initial capital. In my case, I used credit to acquire a property. Instead of using my own money, I used credit, which allowed me to acquire an asset without needing to put my own money into the deal. With this, I not only acquired the property, but also it started generating passive income for me. This was a turning point in my financial life. What most people don't understand is that if you can't generate money without having money, you need to learn how to do that. This is the real secret to wealth. Understanding how to use debt to your advantage and generate income from it. The reason I started seeing debt differently is that by borrowing money, I was essentially using the money of people who have pension funds, mutual funds, insurance, and savings. I was taking their money to protect my own assets and acquire more assets. That's how the financial system works, and that's how the rich really got rich. The key to this is understanding that money is generated in your mind before it is generated in your bank account. When you start to understand how money works, financial education becomes the greatest asset you can have. Over time, I realized that there are always opportunities to buy and create income, regardless of the financial situation in the market. It could be a small property for a gas station or even a piece of land in an area that isn't fully developed yet. What many real estate developers do is acquire large plots of land and then sell them in parts. Each piece of land they sell turns into profit for them. And the best part is that they don't pay for everything at once. They buy the land, divide it into pieces, and sell these pieces to builders or investors, generating profit from each transaction. This process of acquiring assets and generating passive income is what truly defines wealth. The secret is in understanding how to use the system to your advantage. The rich are not rich just because they have money. They are rich because they know how to use money to work for them. By learning to think like them, you can begin to apply the same strategies in your own life. If you look at the financial system, you will see that it is designed to use bank financing. The people who are putting their money in banks are essentially paying for the banks to use that money to lend to others. When you put your money in the bank, you are essentially creating an expense for the bank, as they have to pay interest on that money. Meanwhile, the banks use that money to finance other people, generating profits for them. This is the system we live in, and if you learn to use credit and financing to your advantage, you can generate more wealth for yourself. The key is understanding that debt, when used intelligently, is not a burden, but a tool to increase your wealth. The biggest mistake most people make is trying to get out of debt as quickly as possible without understanding how to use it to generate more money. Instead of seeing debt as something negative, you should learn to see it as leverage that can be used to acquire more assets and increase your wealth. When you learn to use other people's money to finance your assets, you're on the right path. This is the strategy that the rich use all the time. They don't spend their own money. They use credit, financing, and other resources to acquire assets that will generate financial returns. This is what really sets the rich apart from the poor. They understand that money is just a tool, and true wealth is in knowing how to use it wisely. So whenever you think about money, instead of focusing on, "I can't afford it," change your mindset to, "How can I use this to my advantage?" By adopting this mindset, you will open doors to new opportunities and begin to see money in a completely different way. It's not about how much money you have, but about how you use what you have to generate more wealth. This is the real key to financial success. When I started in the business world, I believed I had to do everything myself. I thought that to be successful, I needed to be an expert in every area, knowing everything about everything. However, this mindset ended up preventing me from advancing more quickly at the beginning of my journey. For a while, I focused on trying to solve all the problems on my own, without delegating tasks or seeking help from people who already had more experience than I did. Over time, I realized that this wasn't sustainable. I was limited by my own lack of knowledge in several areas, and mainly by the wrong idea that I had to be the sole responsible for all decisions. Now, looking back, I see that this was one of the biggest mistakes I made. When starting, you think you need to know everything. But the reality is that, to succeed, you need to build a team of people who have skills you don't possess. The key point I learned is that it's not about being an expert in all areas, but about being able to find the right people and trust them. And there's no shame in not knowing everything. The important thing is knowing who to turn to for help in filling the gaps in your knowledge and skills. When starting your business journey, it's crucial to understand that you don't need to be a master in every function. The real secret is surrounding yourself with people who are experts in the areas you don't dominate and putting them on your team. That's when I started to realize the importance of asking questions and seeking answers. Often, the answers I was looking for weren't inside me, but in people who already had broader experience. For example, you don't need to be an expert in finance to run a business. You need to find someone who understands finance, ask questions, and trust that person's experience. When I started doing this, my perspective changed completely. Instead of trying to know everything, I began focusing on learning from others and integrating their skills into my own knowledge. This mindset shift was transformative for me. It's not about wanting to be the only one making decisions, but about being a good leader who knows how to delegate and trust others. You shouldn't be the only person who has all the answers, because this will limit the growth of your business. If you have to decide everything and know everything, you're creating barriers to success because you're failing to leverage the potential of a diverse and well-prepared team. I understand that this process of delegation and trusting the right people can be difficult, especially at the beginning, when there's a feeling that you need to control everything. But the truth is, the more you try to control, the harder it becomes. When you start trusting specialists and other people to make decisions in specific areas, you create an environment where everyone can contribute, and the business has a better chance of thriving. Another important point I learned is the relevance of cash flow in business management. Cash flow is the heart of any company. It doesn't matter how good your product is or how innovative your idea is. Without good financial control, you run serious risks of going bankrupt. So, entering the business world, it's essential to understand how money flows within your company. This makes all the difference between success and failure. Often, the lack of cash flow is what causes companies to close their doors, even if they have a great product or service. If you don't learn to manage cash flow well, you'll fall behind, while those who understand this process more clearly will advance more quickly. This doesn't mean you need to be a financial expert, but you should surround yourself with people who understand finance and can help your business grow in a healthy and sustainable way. Education and the process of learning financial management and cash flow are essential and should begin from the very first moment of your business journey. The most important thing, however, is the way you think about business. Your mindset needs to be focused on continuous learning and collaboration. The mindset of trying to do everything alone is limiting and will prevent you from seeing the opportunities around you. If you really want to succeed in business, you must start constantly questioning how to improve, how to learn from others, and how to delegate tasks. The beginning may be challenging, and everything may seem difficult, but the learning process and building a solid team is what will make the difference in the long run. You don't need to be an expert in all aspects of your business, but you need to be smart enough to find the right people to help fill the gaps and contribute to your success. This process starts now with the right mindset, the willingness to learn, and the courage to trust others. Remember, the key to success in business is recognizing that you don't have to do everything on your own. Collaboration, trust, and the ability to delegate are essential to building something lasting. If you adopt this mindset and surround yourself with the right people, you will have much more chance to grow, innovate, and achieve the success you desire. The journey to true wealth is not just about accumulating money, but about how you handle money and the opportunities around you. What most people don't realize, and what the wealthy understood long ago, is that the secret to financial prosperity is not about earning large sums of money at once, but knowing how to use money wisely. This begins with a fundamental shift in how you think about the financial system, debt, and investment opportunities. Those who thrive financially know that money is a powerful tool, but only if used strategically. One of the biggest traps that prevents many people from achieving wealth is the scarcity mindset, the one that says, "I can't afford it, I don't have time, I'm not capable." These mindsets create a cycle of self-sabotage, where inaction and procrastination become the main reasons why people remain in a financially deficient state. By adopting an abundance mindset, which understands that money can be created, that debt can be used as a tool, and that opportunities are always present, you begin to see the financial world from a completely new perspective. The key to this transformation is understanding how to use credit and financing to your advantage. The banking and financial system is designed to function in a way that, when used correctly, can generate extraordinary wealth. However, to take advantage of this, it's necessary to develop the mindset that debt, far from being something to avoid at all costs, can be a powerful ally in the process of accumulating wealth. When you learn how to use other people's money, such as from banks, to finance your assets, you begin to break free from the poverty cycle and move toward building solid, lasting wealth. Understanding that money is not the ultimate goal, but rather a tool to create more value and opportunities, is another fundamental principle of wealth creation. The true secret to prosperity is how you make money work for you, rather than being enslaved by it. The wealthy know that money is not just about accumulating, but about how it is invested, multiplied, and leveraged to create more wealth. They understand that by investing in assets that generate passive income, such as real estate, businesses, or even stocks, money can multiply without the need to actively work for it. Another important aspect of this journey is the ability to constantly learn. Financial education is not something you learn once and that's it. Building wealth is an ongoing process that demands constant attention, learning, and adaptation. Staying updated on market trends, seeking innovative ways to think and act in the financial world, and consistently refining your strategies are fundamental steps toward achieving financial success. It involves understanding how to identify the right opportunities, leveraging debt as a tool rather than a burden, and recognizing the value of assets capable of generating passive income. Each of these elements contributes to a continuous process of growth and adaptation to the ever-evolving realities of the financial market. Dedication to learning and the pursuit of excellence in financial strategies pave the way for clearer and more accessible opportunities. When you embrace this mindset, the financial landscape becomes less daunting, and you develop the ability to navigate it with confidence and foresight. The path to wealth creation, however, is not without challenges. It requires resilience, discipline, and a clear focus on long-term objectives. Patience is arguably one of the most critical factors in the journey toward financial freedom. Wealth is rarely built overnight. Rather, it is the result of consistent, well-thought-out actions over time. The most successful individuals understand the importance of delayed gratification and the power of compounding efforts. A long-term mindset distinguishes those who achieve lasting wealth from those who chase fleeting gains. For instance, investing in assets that appreciate over time, such as real estate, stocks, or businesses, can provide substantial returns when approached with patience and strategy. The willingness to forego immediate rewards for future benefits sets the foundation for enduring financial prosperity. It also fosters a sense of discipline, ensuring that decisions are made with careful consideration and not driven by short-term temptations. Equally important is the ability to stay focused on your financial goals amidst distractions. Temporary setbacks, market fluctuations, or enticing promises of quick riches can derail even the most diligent individuals. However, those who maintain their focus and remain committed to their plans are better positioned to weather uncertainties and emerge stronger. True wealth extends beyond the accumulation of money. It encompasses the quality of life, freedom, and impact you can achieve with financial independence. Financial freedom empowers you to make choices that align with your values and aspirations without being constrained by resources. It allows you to prioritize what truly matters, whether it is spending time with loved ones, pursuing a passion, or contributing to causes that resonate with your beliefs. Achieving wealth is as much about mindset as it is about strategy. It requires a willingness to learn, adapt, and shift perspectives. By using credit judiciously, investing in assets that generate passive income, and maintaining a focus on long-term goals, you can lay the groundwork for a stable and prosperous financial future. Moreover, wealth becomes meaningful when it is used to create opportunities for others, inspire growth, and foster a sense of purpose. In essence, true success is defined not merely by financial abundance, but by the ability to lead a life of fulfillment and significance. It is about leveraging your resources to enhance your life and positively influence the lives of others. The journey to wealth is not a destination, but a continuous process of learning, adapting, and striving for a life of value and purpose. This holistic approach ensures that your financial success is sustainable and enriching, paving the way for a legacy that extends beyond material wealth.